opening rounds of the New Japan Cup have finally concluded, and we've whittled down the field from 16 to, well, sorry, 30, botch, excuse me, 32 to 16, and we now know what awaits us as early as tomorrow as the New Japan Cup continues and round 2 begins. Hello, everybody. Now, I'm just a simple man, and my name is Noah Foster, and welcome, of course, to once again another Simple Take, as we've now concluded the opening rounds of the New Japan Cup with Day 4 action in the books. It was very aggressive, hard-hitting, surprising, and we even had some subtle humor. I can definitely tell how long the tides go when it comes to some of the history of some of these wrestlers. With that being said, why don't I go ahead and just discuss what we saw today. So today we had 4 matches again from Cork and Hall and a specials tag. And this time they opened up with New Japan Cup action, as it was Roppongi 3K's Yo, finally with his own identity it seems, with his own entrance theme and music. If I have to pick between Yo and Shows, I like Yo's better because it's actually lyrical, while Show reminds me of a rapid, fast video game. Anyway, it was Yo versus Bushi, and we all have our feelings about Bushi, or a couple people I know have particular feelings about him. The match was not that bad, though, as both showed a very competitive side to each other, and I think did better than the Best of Super Juniors singles bout, because this is a Best of Super Juniors 26 rematch. Over the top, Yo went to crash hard on Bushi. Bushi gets the better of him. There was counter for counter, hard Irish whips, and then a neck breaker over the barricade at one point brought the match in Bushi's favor. Ouch. Following this, he comes off the top, and then we literally get a figure 4 leg lock. Again, it just goes to show how far influenced that move is in New Japan Pro Wrestling and professional wrestling in general, especially since I just watched Minoru Suzuki versus Tetsuya Naito. Anyway, as this match continues, there was a, following this figure 4 leg lock, Yo gets planted by Bushi, and then there was a suplex with a bridge into a super kick, another subtle exchange among the two, and we do finally learn, as I did learn from my Twitter friends, Yo's new move. I believe it's called Blind Falcon. It's kind of a Falcon Arrow where your legs kind of package pile up. Some people call it a hybrid combination to a Kiwi Crusher and a Falcon Arrow. It looked pretty effective, but it looks more like a signature or a finisher, as it did not get him the win here. And as the match progressed, there was snap around, snap around, snap around, and a ridiculous backstabber. Ouch. Into a heel hook, but Dragon Suplex counter for counter, and Bushi pulls off, and I wonder if Jericho endorses this, a cold breaker, and then spin out jawbreaker, and he finally hits him with the MX, and Bushi wins this 1-2-3. So not a very bad showing, I would like to think, by neither man, especially considering this is both men's first New Japan Cup, because again, this open weight cup where weights don't matter here and it's more unpredictable than ever, it allowed us to get a lot more debuts and really nice rivalries from different facets. Again, this is a pickup from Best Super Juniors last year, and while the result was kind of different, and the match was definitely more evolved versus that match from last year, both men are constantly improving. Now Yo can really try and show us what he brings as a singles competitor. This was a good first outing. And Bushi, we'll see what awaits for him in the next round, sooner than later. With that being said, we move into our next match as we have Tenzin of Tenkozi versus the Headhunter, Yoshihashi. So much mixed feelings towards the Headhunter, it seems, from the wrestling community and New Japan Pro Wrestling. The guy, he has so much potential, yet to win any sort of New Japan Gold and New Japan Pro Wrestling. And I feel like he really is just on the verge of really coming forward. He actually had a pretty good run last year's New Japan Cup. I believe he went through 2 or 3 matches. And in this one, it was interesting to me, as I keep thinking about, you know, what Tenzin, what Kojima, what Makabe, and what Nagata all achieved as a, you know, a 4-person squad during the Makabe's, Manabu Nakanishi's, excuse me, apologies folks, botch, retirement tour. But anyway, as this match was just straight up hard hitting, and here I thought it would come down to submissions, and it did during parts of it. Exchange into a shorter block, and finally one of the men gets better than the other. There's a near count out at one point as both men, they take it to the outside. Seems to be a statement more in New Japan Pro Wrestling. I'm not mad with it. Draped over, drop kick, and then a ridiculous headbutt. So many freaking headbutts. My gosh. Ridiculous. Blockbuster, and then we had a chop fest. Double knees, though, at one point, and then a ridiculous power bomb by a Tenzin. Not enough. Headbutt on an arm wringer counter by Yoshihashi, good follow-up, and then both men basically were getting to a slap exchange, only for one to fall to a spear. Yoshihashi speared the hell out of Tenzin. Submission hold and a caught device side headlock. Bunch of ground-based submissions here, really trying to control the action as both these men are submission specialists in a way. As the match continued, there was a moonsault miss by Tenzin, Swanton miss by Yoshihashi. Both men putting it all out there. Subtle exchange again, and another ridiculous headbutt drops Yoshihashi where he stands. And he goes for the cover. Kick out at one. At one, folks. As we continue this, there was a top rope run through blockbuster by Yoshihashi and attempted submission again into another near fall. As the match progressed and Tenzin looked like things were in his favor, Yoshihashi finally locks in that butterfly lock, kind of like a modified sit-down master lock, if y'all don't know what I'm talking about, with a full Nelson. And Yoshihashi gets the win here, 1, 2, 3, and continues his momentum in the New Japan Cup. Maybe trying to repeat the actions of last year, maybe trying to exceed what he did last year. Tenzin, unfortunately, he falls again in the opener. And here I thought history wasn't going to repeat itself. As last year, Tenzin fell in the opener to Taguchi, who's already eliminated too. So again, Tenzin, strong performance, but Yoshihashi, don't count the guy out. The guy definitely wears his heart on his sleeve, or in this case, his knee, as he wears 3 knee pads to represent never quitting. And he's got potential. I mean, I would, again, as one of my friends put it, I would have loved to see a follow-up to him versus Kenta for the never openweight title. Honestly, I can see Yoshihashi contending for the never openweight title at one point. Someone proposed that maybe for even Dominion. But again, after what we saw from yesterday, only time will tell. In case you're wondering, this is being recorded at 10:49 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Wednesday, June 23rd. Okay, so moving on from here, we go into a specials tag match. It is Chaos, Weymouth, Kazuchika Okada, and his cohorts, including Toriano and Tomohiro Ishii and Sho. They took on LIJ, Los Ingobernables de Japón. The double champ, Tetsuya Naito, Rampage Dragon, Shingo Takagi, again eliminated. Still can't believe that. Let's see here. Sanada and Hiromu Takahashi. The story was told about this match as we try and preview the matches coming up across round 2, day 1, and round 2, day 2, if that makes sense for y'all. Basically days 5 and day 6 in the New Japan Cup. As Hiromu Takahashi came out in a way, I cannot remember seeing him like this before. But it all goes back to what I told you previously when I previewed this match coming up in round 2, which, by the way, is tomorrow. As Hiromu Takahashi basically comes out very reluctantly, as he doesn't want to get nowhere near Toru Yano. Eventually, though, Toru Yano and him, they do meet in the ring. But not before, who am I kidding? I'm just, because this was the first key point of the match. Toru Yano, Hiromu Takahashi, they finally meet in the ring. Toru Yano's indiscriminately yelling. Ref is checking him because Hiromu wants him to check. And what does Toru Yano have on him? A pair of clippers. For those of you who don't know, allow me to remind you, back in 2011, when Hiromu Takahashi was just a young lion, Toru Yano literally shaved him. The biggest dishonor to anybody in New Japan Pro Wrestling. In Japanese wrestling, I might add. It's one thing when you literally fall it on yourself. It's another thing when someone else does it to you. And he's never recovered from, well, basically that trauma since. And it was really shown when a compassionate side, supportive side of Shingo Takagi was here for his friend. Speaking of which, as the match continued, we got more previews of the other matches to come. As Sho and Sanada, they exchanged in what really was a much more slow-paced Sanada facing against a more aggressive Sho, but Sho tried to play the mat game here, trying to control his arm. Both these men trying to get the better of each other, and at one point, Sanada, he kind of gets outsmarted by Sho, eats a kick. As these two, they finally leave the ring. We go into a match that I would love to see again. You remember that war from the New Japan Road for the Neverweight title, as Tomohiro Ishii and Shingo Takagi, they mixed it up again, and they left it all out in the ring, but it wasn't until Shingo, of course, with that explosive 3-move combo, only got 2 moves off, and then Ishii drops him. And then we get a preview of the match everyone thinks might happen again, and I feel like it's going to happen for eternity, as Okada and Naito, they mixed it up a little bit here. Naito, of course, controlling the Rainmaker, grounding him. Okada getting the best of him with a drop kick. But then we go all the way out and we find Yano and Hiromu up in the stands as literally Hiromu's trying to get away from Yano. And Yano's like, oh, go. And he still has those clippers in hand, too. I gotta imagine they're probably wireless and battery-powered clippers. I don't think they were on, but still, there's that little thought. Anyway, As this match continues, there was one point they do finally get back to the ring area, and Hiromu tries to get the better of Hiromu Takahashi with a sunset powerbomb, but Yano hangs on, and Yano, of course, gets the clippers on. That's what leads them to go in the stands. Apologies if I'm out of place, but this match just made me laugh more than anything as Shingo tries to support his friend. Eventually, though, I kid you not, we go to the Korakuen Hall Commons area by the entranceway, and we literally find Toru Yano and Hiromu Takahashi literally just going at each other, verbally more than physically. Yano, of course, pulls the tape out. He tries to double tape the legs of Hiromu down, but the count was going on this entire time, and Okada eventually comes out to be like, "Oh, you doing? Get out!" And he's like, literally, "Yano, get back to the ring," but too late. Double count-out result. Nobody wins here except us. So, as this match ended in a double count-out, we now know Yano's got definitely the psychological advantage with Hiromu Takahashi, as Hiromu literally bunny hops his way all the way back to ringside area, only to fall, to be lifted by Naito and Shingo at one point, and then tries to bunny hop his way to the steps and literally like waddles away like a penguin, only to fall on his face, but he busted his nose. And he still has his legs taped up, and he's definitely in not the right mindset, and that's saying something for him, as we prepare for his match with Toru Yano tomorrow. So here's what I gotta think about this. I'm sorry. So, Toru Yano, Hiromu Takahashi. They have not faced each other in one-on-one actions ever since Hiromu was a young lion and he lost his hair. And now you see his hair nowadays, and Toru Yano's got all the advantage and momentum in the world. Toru Yano's known as spoiler maker for a reason. Period. But this truly could be the ultimate redemption if not only Hiromu wins this match, he literally shaves Toru Yano. And I feel like if Shingo Takagi's in his corner and supporting him, kind of like he was in this tag match, I feel there's a very strong chance of that happening. Especially since Shingo Takagi, he's out of the New Japan Cup. He's got nothing else to do right now, except maybe think about his match with Dominion, which again, it could be Sho, it might be Yoshihashi. I think those are two very key candidates. But with that being said, that was just fun, this tag match. And definitely, out of all the matches coming up, this tag match made me look the most forward to Toru Yano versus Hiromu Takahashi. And ladies and gentlemen, that is tomorrow. Stay tuned. I'll have thoughts on that after I finish the rest of the card. So, as we continue here, we go into, of course, a disinfectant cleaning break. They talk about the remaining matches to come. And they also talk about basically, you know, events to come as well. And might I add something too, because apologies, most sincere apologies. Yesterday in the opener, the CEO, chairman, whatever you want to call him, of New Japan Pro Wrestling, Shikabayashi, apologies if I screw up his name, he actually had an announcement regarding the New Japan Cup, and apparently YouTube basically disclosed it for me in English. For those of you who've never experienced New Japan Pro Wrestling or don't want to pay less than $9.99, that's right folks, it's worth them less than $9.99, he actually has a special announcement for all of us. Coming July 3rd, which literally is going to be the round 2, day 2 action of the New Japan Cup, it is going to be broadcast live for free. That is right. If you all have never been involved in New Japan Pro Wrestling or don't know what this company can bring, this is your first real chance to get a taste of the utmost current action that this company has to offer. And you could check out and tune into New Japan Pro Wrestling for free. So please, if you haven't already, go to njpwworld.com, check out some of the free content they already have there, and prepare for the live free action that you're going to get with the New Japan Cup July 3rd. This is absolutely amazing, and I truly hope it does bring more people to come and enjoy and know New Japan Pro Wrestling. If you want real wrestling fun, pure enjoyment with what you're seeing, under even an empty crowd atmosphere, and you want something different because you don't want to try and, you know, go back to something that really makes you think about the past, this is the opportunity, this is the company you need to try and look forward to. I'm not saying that as anyone that might classify me as something in the wrestling community. I'm just saying that as a fan of professional wrestling, because that's what this company will bring you, and you will not be disappointed. Anyway, with that being said, after we return, of course, from the disinfectant break, and of course, before the disinfectant break, they talk about way to the Grandmaster. And again, I'm just going to stick with it. I'm going to go with Mike Bailey. Someone else can try and correct me on that. Go ahead, prove me wrong. See if I'm right. See if I'm wrong. We go into the next match, and I risked my hair, all of it, on this match. When you consider the record is 14-1. As the Tokyo Pimp, Yujiro Takahashi took on Hiroki Goto. This match was very interesting to me, and of course, Jada was at ringside with that damn candlestick. You and that damn candlestick! Sorry. Anyway, this match was actually really competitive. By the way, it was just him, no Pita. Sorry. Apparently, Chris Charlton told me that Pita might have lost her dance moves. I hope that means she just comes back with some new ones. Anyway, back to the match. So this match was very interesting. It was very competitive, back and forth. I thought it was going to be really one-sided. But Yujiro showed a lot here. You would imagine, though, with all the history they had, he would try and bring something different. Anyway, we had near fall. There was a ridiculous discus lariat at one point and a superplex spot, or as they call it, brain buster, at one point by Yujiro. So, mad respect to the man. And he really held up here with Goto. At one point, a ridiculous knockout shot by Goto dropped Yujiro where he stood. As the match continued, there was biting to get out of submission by Yujiro. Ouch. But then an elevated GTR for a 2 count. Yes, I have hiccups. As the match continued, that damn candlestick, it did get involved, and it nearly gave me a heart attack as Yujiro literally capitalized with one of his signature moves and nearly got the win with a friggin' 2.5. Holy hell, that was close. Yeesh. But as the match continued, a ridiculous headbutt by Goto. He takes out Jado. GTW into the GTR. Goto continues the history and the streak. Wins 1, 2, 3. And now the record stands 15-1. So the way I see it is this. Yujiro, he's a guy, a lot of promise. Some people probably look at him as one of those guys to be the fall guy in Bullet Club. But there's a reason why he's also in Bullet Club. With that being said, I thought it was a very good back and forth competitive match. I kind of felt like the result was ours though, because I was not going against history. And by the way, up to this point, I was 2-1. I called the Yoshihashi and Tenzin match wrong. God, I hate hiccups. Anyway, I'm curious to see what's next for Yujiro and how far Goto might go on this, depending on who he might face. And it's 2 people he's very familiar with. As we go into our main event, which literally can only be defined, if my hiccups will let me, as a match of lariats. God. Anyway, it was Satoshi Kojima versus Evil. And literally it starts off with Evil working the left arm of Satoshi Kojima. But again, Satoshi Kojima, he is very versatile. He can use both to knock you out. At one point, his arm was literally trapped in a chair, and Evil smashed it into the ring post, basically making him a one-armed man. But Satoshi Kojima, he does come back. We do get the chop fest. Not as many as I was hoping to see. I think it was like maybe 20. And the match really picked up with the elbow drop call, as Satoshi always does, denied by Evil. And the ridiculous DDT on the apron puts the match into Evil's favor. As we continue, though, Satoshi, he counters back and finally pulls off the elbow drop and then brings up a ridiculous suplex. And we got our first fall of the match. Nowhere near. By the way, LIJ ref, as I like to think, Red Shoes, he played a little bit in here with some assistance to Evil, with a magic killer included later on. That ref, I tell you, the most durable, versatile, best ref in the business. Period. Dare someone to correct me on that. Anyway, as the match continued, there was a ridiculous super spot on both these men. It literally, this was the story of the rest of the match, Bradley, folks. Lariats after lariats after lariats after lariats. At one point, literally lariating each other for Evil to run into a still Satoshi Kojima into his arm. And he literally, Satoshi does no movement, does nothing. Evil just drops, collapses. This was ridiculous. It's like running into a brick wall that Evil couldn't break. God. Evil, though, for a seat, Lariato! And literally turns him inside out. So, basically, following that, both of these men are just willing into each other. I think I found myself saying, damn! At least 2 or 3 times. So, with that being said, as the match continues, there was a ridiculous power slam, and then another Lariato! That's the only way I could call it, by Kojima, where he turned Evil freaking inside out. As the match continued, though, it was a brain buster, and then another super brain buster that put the match into Evil's favor. As we had lariats again by Kojima, he was building momentum, including a lariat to the back of the head of Evil. Ouch. However, as the match got finally to its end, out of nowhere I might add, Everything is evil. Takedown stops Kojima in his tracks, and Evil picks up the win in a true testament of arm resistance and neck strength. 1, 2, 3 in this match of hilarious. I loved this aggressive, brutal affair so much. Kojima definitely has been stepping up his game. To think he's in his upper 40s, been going at this for so long. One of the earliest IWGP Heavyweight Champions, I'm by that too. A title that Eva has yet to maintain. Incredible performance. And with that being said, Evil moves on and he continues in the New Japan Cup. And we have officially finished all of our opening round matches for round 1. So now, as we look towards the New Japan Cup round 2 to start, beginning tomorrow, we have the following matches coming up. But before we get into tomorrow, I'm giving you my thoughts predictions. Let me tell you about the matches we're going to get from this quadrant of the bracket coming up July 1st. We are going to get Yoshihashi versus Bushi, and Evo versus Goto. Also on July 1st, don't forget, we're going to get Taiji versus Kota Ibushi and Sonata versus Sho. Some incredible matches to look forward to in the days ahead. And again, folks, tune in July 3rd for the freaking finals of the New Japan Cup, as they will be for free on NJPWWorld.com. God, these hiccups. So with that being said, before I choke on my own hiccups or, get a drink, let's go ahead and talk about the matches coming tomorrow in the first day of round 2 action, as I previously stated. And thank you, NJPW 1972, for some of the upper word stats, as well as some thoughts going into this. We have our first match being Togi Makabe versus Tomohiro Ishii. Two of the men, basically the two men tomorrow that have the most history with each other, and probably the most history overall, singles-wise, as they are 6-3. But the interesting thing, the records that do go in Makabe's favor, even though Tomohiro Ishii has owned victories over Togi Makabe in the G1 Climax. Twice. With that being said, Tomohiro Ishii is not going to be going into this 100%. He's definitely going to be going into this the weaker of the two as far as conditioning goes. Togi Makabe, he had a pretty good, easy opening match, if y'all remember, as he took on Yota Tsuji. But I'm not counting out the young lion and his heart's nasty. But again, you saw the war that Tomohiro Ishii went against El Desperado. Still one of my favorite matches of the year. He is definitely going to be going up with a banged up left leg and who knows what else. But in my opinion, I'm going to go with the Stone Pit Bull on this one to advance past Togi Makabe. I'm not sure how well these two have done against each other across other New Japan Cups, but I do know that Tomohiro Ishii made it all the way up to the semifinals to face Okada, only to fall to him, and then of course Okada faced Sonata in the finals. But I'm not going against Stone Pit Bull here, and I expect a really aggressive, brutal affair. Could this top his match with El Desperado? Could this top Minoru Suzuki and Yuji Nagata? I'm not sure. Honestly, this could be our opener, but I'm really looking forward to this match, and I'm going with the Stone Pit Bull. Following that, we have a match that is literally practically near 9 years in the making, as Toa Yano, he's going to take on Hiromu Takahashi, the ticking time bomb. But again, Hiromu's got that fear. You did this to me. You did this to my hair. Could we see a repeat? We know Toa Yano is spoiler master, and I'm sure he won't have that pair of clippers far behind him. The only way I see Toa Yano, though, winning this, though, considering the real story right now of Hiromu and Naito trying to be officially made like its own destino, is the fact that Hiromu probably wants to cut friggin' Toa Yano's hair, and I feel like we'll finally find solstice in himself and resolution and can move on from that past demon once and for all. And honestly, I think that's going to happen. So with that being said, I'm actually going to go with the ticking time bomb, pick up the win here, and adding insult to injury, I see him shaving Toa Yano's head. Not bald, but nonetheless. It would be interesting, though, seeing Toa Yano with a different style. But again, you can't deny the run right now of Hiromu Takahashi and the matches that he's brought us with Will Ospreay, with Ryu Lee, and with the heart and the craziness and the fun he brings so far, being IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion. Not to mention, he really went the distance in a unique war against someone as wild as him in Tomoki Honma in his opening match. So right now, even though he might not be psychologically there, though I wonder if he was there to begin with, I'm actually going with Hiromu picking up the win here in this match. I think he's finally going to get the best of Toa Yano. And we'll see how Toa Yano reacts. I sense a lot of Japanese cussing. Or something like that. Anyway, moving on from there, we go to another singles bout tomorrow, as we have the heel master, representing my faction Suzuki-gun, Yoshinobu Kamaro versus Taiji Ishimori. Now, people are mixed about this because, again, according to stats, Tajimori has yet to beat Yoshinobu in one-on-one singles action. Ever. And this goes all the way before New Japan Pro Wrestling too. But according to New Japan Pro Wrestling, singles records wise, it's only been 2 matches they've had under that banner, and it is 2-0 Kamara's favor. But people keep thinking about the potential dream match of Ishimori versus Okada, the former IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion versus the longest reigning heavyweight champion in existence. But with that being said, I look at the heel match, I look at the runs here, I look at already the shockers and unpredictability we've seen. And I kind of feel like some history is going to hold up during this thing, as I've seen so far with some of these matches, Jojuro and Goto, just saying. And even though it's not as sparse and separate as a record, I do think that the heel master is going to pick up the win here, and I feel like those fortunes are going to continue. It's been a rough run, though, for Bullet Club, I will say, in this New Japan Cup, considering, well, I believe Tajimori is their last representative still in this. So, honestly, now that I think about it, if Tajimori, he's not going to have ELP out there with him, but if he does have that help with him out there, I really feel like that Taiji might win this. So, to be quite blunt with you, I kind of feel like because he is the only representative left in the New Japan Cup representing Bullet Club, and heck, Battle of Fire made it to the finals at least twice. I'm actually going to go with Ishimori on this one, and we're going to break history. I'm very curious to see what might happen from here and what might be next to Heel Master and what he might do to overcome the Heel Master. But I'm actually going to go with an upset here and think that Tajimori is going to pick up the win, looking back at my bracket. Initially, I was thinking about Kawamara, but when I was looking at the entirety of my bracket and the way I was thinking about being panned out, I do have a potential setup of Tajimori in the next round, round 3. With that being said, his opponent, let me talk to you, because again, this match, this was the first one that screwed me the pooch in opening rounds. Still can't believe it, but again, mad respect to Blue Justice. And there's no doubt will be our main event, because of course it features the Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada. And to think, these two have only had one other singles match, and it was really one of Okada's breakout matches, as he beat Nagata early in his career in an over 18-minute bout. It is Kazuchika Okada versus Blue Justice Yuji Nagata, who's been involved in wrestling now for 35 years and pulled off, I'm sure, everybody's biggest upset so far, where he got out of nowhere with that suplex in the bridge. He beat the king, Minoru Suzuki. Although I feel like Minoru Suzuki and Yuji Nagata are far from done with each other. Anyway, the last time these two faced each other one-on-one, it was back in the G1. Both these men have constantly grown since then, physically and mentally, no doubt. This will be a very competitive, aggressive battle by Okada. Basically called Gato a warm-up. He did hurt him a little bit. Okada's going to get seriously hurt here. I feel like I'm really tested physically. And why I feel like still the hardest hitting match you could have had here was Minoru Suzuki versus Kazuchika Okada. I feel like this is going to be just as aggressive and as physical. And again, these two, they have not met each other in 5 years nearly. So with that being said, I am just going to go out here and say it's going to be a very competitive, aggressive bout. And when Nagata got the single upset over the King, I'd be bloody shocked if he upset probably a favorite in everyone's brackets right now to at least make it to the finals. I'm going with the Rainmaker. Kazuchika Okada gets the win here. And again, Okada, he's also going to be going into this match a lot better probably than his adversary. Because again, Nagata went through a war. Okada, he went through a mental game. So Okada's definitely going to be in the better mindset and physical shape versus his opponent. I'm not counting his opponent out, but again, you got to consider that's going to play a factor in this one way or another. Then again, Blue Justice, 35 years of wrestling. Just saying. With that being said, that is all I have to say about today's action and the action coming up tomorrow. And I, of course, will have a similar take regarding the actions that fall out tomorrow, as well as my preview predictions for the following second day of round 2 action, as well as what's to come overall in, well, round 3, as we whittle the field down now, starting tomorrow from 16 to 8. And we'll have to wait and see what happens. But with that being said, that's all I have to say. I really enjoyed this day of action. Aggressive, competitive action. Really interesting storytelling about a match to come, definitely for tomorrow. Although I feel like the other ones are kind of like, you know, a little bit shadowed. But again, it's Hiromu's hair, all right? Is there something bigger right now than Hiromu's hair when it comes to tomorrow? Just saying. And people can objectify me on that too. I'm fine with that. But that's all I have to say about today. And again, I look forward to tomorrow discussing more NJPW with you. If you want to know more about me, know this. I'm just a simple man. And if you haven't figured it out by now, I am a lifelong fan of wrestling, especially pro wrestling. There's so many different ways to look at wrestling, okay? Just love wrestling, folks. With that being said, I'm on Twitter, @nfoster96team. I'm on Instagram, @nfoster96team. You're watching this simple YouTube channel here at youtube.com/user/no-foss210. There's probably a short URL. I don't know it. I'll work on it, okay? With that being said, you know me. I keep it simple. Support wrestling. Support one another. Listen to each other. Hear each other out. Let's grow a much better wrestling community and industry together. Simple as that. With that being said, thank you so much for tuning in. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, tell a friend. It is currently 11:13 a.m. on Tuesday, June 23rd, 2020. I will be, of course, watching AEW Dark, but my AEW Spark series will be suspended until next week regarding the actions and the stories that we have heard so far regarding a particular wrestler there. I'm glad, however, how AEW is handling it. But AEW Spark will return next week with a Fyter Fest Simply Predicting special focus. But until the next video, which of course will be my next simple take on the NJCup, I hope you all take care, enjoy life, tomorrow's never guaranteed, treasure your families, and enjoy wrestling. And just respect each other as people and human beings. Why must kindness be such a chore or such a challenge to so many is beyond me, but I digress. Support WrestleJoy, support sports and pro wrestling and their stats. Shout out to Chris Samsa, my friend, Phoenix AEW. Shout out to everybody I interface with on NJPW. Shout out to all of you that have been with me on this creator's journey, all 148 of you. I hope to continue bringing the fun, discussion, and the wrestling connectivity to you. Until the next video, you know the drill. Just take care, have a blessed day, be safe, and protect your hair from Yano. Gokigenyo, sayonara.